Why context is the new wealth. So if you look at ESPN as one example, it used to be that announcers were reporters, meaning that they just reported what was going on, like on the sports, they were just reporting. That's what they still do on the local news. But on ESPN, they're not reporters, they're analysts. They're commentators. They provide context because the world has so much information now and people are so busy and you can't keep up with things that you don't want to just know what's going on. You want to know what it means because otherwise you're just awash in a sea of meaningless information. Even in gaming, like entertainment used to just be movies where it was just a broadcast medium where they threw everything at you. Now, it's like Twitch and gamers where you actually interact with the game and it's people that are like have mastered the game so you don't have to. So it's kind of like it takes you through all the levels, like rather than just having to play the game yourself, you can actually understand what's going on and see it in its highest form. So more and more actually understanding and putting things together in context is the new wealth. People are willing to pay with their attention and their dollars for things that make sense. That's why even on YouTube, like the explainer channels and channels that provide context, it could be in beauty where they explain beauty products. It could be in technology where they explain technology. It could be in space where they explain, these channels are taking off because, same thing in gaming, like I said, where they explain the games. People don't understand anything anymore because the world is too complicated. So we need to hire people like experts, like YouTube experts, ESPN experts, other kind of experts to explain things to us and to put it in context. So context used to be domain specific, but now because of convergence and the law of accelerated returns, everything is affecting everything else. Like you can't understand finance unless you understand decentralized finance, unless you understand blockchain, eventually unless you understand artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and, probably eventually including facial recognition and nanotechnology and robotics. So, these are just buzzwords today, but kind of like everything is intersected with everything else. Like Facebook, Google, the FANG companies, Netflix, they're all encroaching on each other's industries because convergence, they're all becoming the same things. Like, streaming, yeah, now Amazon is in streaming. They used to be an e-commerce company. They still are. Then they became a hardware company with Alexa. Google has a voice assistant. Apple has a voice assistant. Cloud computing, they're all competing. Search and social networking is still a little bit discrete, but more and more of the industries are coming together. So if you want to be a contextual expert, so there's a law, I forget what it's called, but that the best in their industry make many more times money and influence than, people that are just close to the best. So LeBron James, he's going to win, a lot of MVPs, a lot of championships, because, they put good players with him because he's the best. Michael Jordan, the same thing. He won 6 championships. Ninja, he gets most of the recognition, even though there's probably a lot of other players that are probably just almost as good as him. So if you're the best in your field, then you'll get the same thing even in investing. It's like Elon Musk, even though they're a small size of Ford and, Toyota, which is their output, their market cap, is much bigger than all of them because they have mind share, they have market share, because they have context. The stock market is not a bet on today, it's a bet on the future and where things are headed. And Tesla has a 3 to 4 year lead on electric vehicles, autonomous driving, also energy storage, and a lot more if you listen to my other videos. So Jeff Bezos says that the first trillionaire is going to be in artificial intelligence. I think Bill Gates says the first trillionaire is going to be in climate change. Solving these big problems, you have to understand the new technologies and how they work together, like quantum computing, how it relates to cryptology, cryptography, and how it relates to decentralized finance. So that's why I call my company Exponentials, because just like Uber is not just a transportation company, they're a logistics company, they're an AI company. Exponentials is an AI company, and right now we're mostly in e-commerce, but the algorithms in e-commerce can be applied to all kinds of other things like cryptocurrencies, and that's why quantum computer or a regular computer, you could do math, or you could do science, or you could do accounting. A computer you could use for a lot of different things. So I named my company Exponentials. It used to be called e-commerce ROI because of convergence and because of the law of accelerated returns, that everything is becoming related to everything else. It's almost like a unified theory that Einstein was looking for. Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, they're kind of like different facets of the diamond. They're all kind of like covering a lot of the same things. Like I was talking about robotics, AI, nanotechnology. All the big companies are going to be in all these things. Like Amazon, they're a robotics company because they have robotics. So let's look at Amazon just for example. They're a hardware company. They're an e-commerce company. They're a transportation company. They're a fulfillment company. They're a marketplace. They're a hardware company. They're a studio. They're a streaming company. They're a cloud computer company. So what is Amazon? It's easier to ask what are they not? And Amazon uses a lot of things to put things into context. It puts e-commerce in context. It puts book publishing in context. It puts transportation in context. So the ability to actually make sense of things and organize things, that's what Google does. It organizes the world information. That's what context is. Context is, like it used to be that when you did a search, you got like so many results and none of them were what you were looking for. Google does intent. It understands intent through page rank and other things. So that puts it in context. It actually knows more what you're looking for. Digital assistant's the same thing. It'll be more of that in the future. So increasingly, context is the new wealth.